1 for the money, 2 for the show. Time to get unlocked. Come on, Rio, let's go.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I really wanted to do that.
You
I
went
told it.
there? Did you actually go there? Wow.
I told Rio I had a plan for the intro, and he's like, all right, man, I trust you. I'm like, you're going to regret that, but all right.
I can't believe it.
Wow.
All right. Unfortunately, you are listening to Unlocked Radio here on Morning Show Central Radio Network. That's not the unfortunate part. You can check them out at mscradionetwork.com to get all the good stuff, all the other shows that they got coming on. We are here. It's Monday, February 3rd, right? 2014. I almost said 2013. I'm still used to saying that a little bit.
I don't know. Groundhog's Day was overshadowed by the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think that means 6 more weeks of football.
6 more weeks of... No, 6 more weeks of job hunting for Peyton Manning, but
yeah,
So that intro was not nearly as disappointing as the Super Bowl. So we're still
True.
good, and
more on that
Bowl,
with High on Sports later.
So
on.
the Super Bowl, more of that High on Sports coming up after us, and then everything in between, which will probably say something about that. Everything else, Tom Von Erich likes to go all over the place. But we're here, unlockedradio.com to check us out, check all of our replays, everything else, facebook.com/unlockedradio, twitter.com, or actually, we'll just at unlockedradio on Twitter, youtube.com/unlockedradio, all that good stuff. Today, after the day after the Super Bowl, which is the boss battle of football, we're
going to be tackling our toughest challenge yet. We're going to be discussing boss battles.
Yep. All boss battles, the easiest ones, the hardest ones, our favorites, the iconic ones, all the really dumb and annoying ones, the ones that are cheap, like anything Soul Calibur, really, all the Soul Calibur bosses, cheap, annoying. Hey, let's change the direction of the camera so that you can't actually control it and fight the way you would normally fight, that kind of stuff that are live. Street Fighter bosses. Me having to play Akuma 64 times in a row to try to eventually beat him. Jesus Christ. But yeah, we're doing all of that.
And after the break, I expect I got a prize giveaway, nice little Battlefield 4 poster. So if someone can call in and guess who my favorite boss ever was.
This shouldn't be too difficult, but if you can't manage
actually, it isn't that one, Rio.
Oh, it isn't that one?
Yeah, you'd be amazed.
Oh, man.
It's a little surprising.
Right,
I am definitely going to be bringing up the fact of Mega Man, where you choose the order of your boss battles, which is apparently also the new way that they did the Zelda games. So I'm pretty excited to see that one. I haven't played it yet. Got to get around to it. I've heard nothing but good reviews. And I'm actually going to share my favorite memory of a boss battle, which dates back to N64.
All right, yeah. You guys can call in and do that by calling in at 888-668-0742. That is 888-668-0742. That'll get you right up in here live on the air with us, and you can tell us what your favorite boss battle is and try to guess Chip's. And probably, I don't know if I have one quite an absolute favorite in my head just yet, but if you can figure that out, we'll see what else we got. So... let's see. I want to start with some of the lamest ones. We're gonna work our way up to the really, really good ones.
Do you want to start with lame, or do you want to start with aggravating?
I want to start with like your first boss battles, like the first boss battle game, like Kirby, for instance. The tree that he pretty much just blows objects at you that you can easily dodge or swallow and blow right back at him. Like, it's easier to fight an actual real life bonsai tree than it is to like fight him, or like it's more difficult. I reversed that.
I got confused for a second there.
Yeah, it's harder to fight an actual tree. Well, I guess because punching a tree hurts, but
not with a katana.
Not with a katana, but no, that sort of thing. It's like, oh, hey, hit it a few times and it's done. And like later on in certain games, like you literally have have like an actual absorbability already, so you can just spam him and kill him even faster.
Yep.
So it's like there are certain boss battles out there that even like the iconic ones, like Axel in Kingdom Hearts 2, you should be ashamed of yourself if you manage to get hit.
Yeah, there are a lot of those bosses.
Crash Bandicoot. The first boss battle in the first boss battle in the original Crash Bandicoot, he just kind of like slowly spins around holding a stick. Like, oh, I can easily dodge that. Oh, I can just jump on you and hit you in the face 3 times and it's over. Like, oh hell no! Please don't spin slowly at me. Don't do that.
Oh my gosh, I might get a little dizzy.
Right. What do you think are some like the easiest boss battles you've ever done?
Easiest boss battles. This is gonna be really bad because I don't play games with shitty bosses.
There's always some in there. Like I was.
I'd have to actually go with Robotnik because
Robotnik, yeah. Well, every boss is him.
There was like 2 of his boss suits that weren't a breeze. It was actually harder to make it through the underwater level without dying from drowning
than it was to beat like his hardest form sometimes.
Yeah. Aside from the giant mech.
In Sonic 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Sonic 2 one. That was actually that is up there.
Yeah, that's actually one of the tougher bosses, especially from a platformer.
I really wish we didn't bring that up because now I'm thinking about it. That's my favorite boss battle.
I'm sorry.
It's really good though. It's like doing that. Like you have no rings. You get hit once, you die. You're used to being able to go and like, oh, I got hit. I can go run around and grab a few rings. You got to do that in Metal Sonic. You got to do Metal Sonic and then him after you're already like, all right, now if I mess this up, I got to go beat Metal Sonic again. Damn it.
Yep. And that was when I activated the Chaos Rings.
Yeah. You have to do the Chaos Emeralds. Chaos Rings is
my
the
bad,
Square
guys. My
Enix
bad.
game.
I activated my Chaos Emeralds, and Metal Sonic was kind of a little bitch after that.
Yeah, there's another Goma.
Okay, yeah.
Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, the very first boss in the tree. Goma, literally like I could defend myself against a slingshot better than Goma could.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I could if I was able to find in some sort of room where I was physically able to climb up the wall and hang out in the ceiling. If I got hit by a slingshot, I could still hold on to the ceiling.
Yeah.
You literally just have to hit him in the eye and hit him a couple times, and then that's the end of it. It's like, I understand it's the first boss battle, like, okay, you're Child Link, but come on.
You want to get you actually really want to have a nice hard time fighting him, a slight challenge, if you will. Try beating him with only bombs. Yep.
Yeah, bombs are kind of like one of the most difficult weapons to use in the game in the first place.
Especially accurately. Yeah, using only the bombs to fight Goma, done. It's actually interesting.
How you have to give yourself challenges to beat the boss instead of like the actual game itself.
Well, I mean, dude, you got weapon options. You can choose whatever you want. Like, it's not that big of a deal, but apparently that boss was just too easy on normal modes, so you got to work around it.
It really was. It's like there was what was it called? One of the dudes in Gears of War 2, the Lambent Brumach or whatever it was. He's like looking like he's a badass. He's gonna kill everybody. He killed one of your teammates earlier on, and then like, oh, I gotta get prepared to use all the skills I've learned in this game so that I can hold the trigger for 30 seconds and then occasionally let go.
Yeah.
That's all you had to do to beat him. It was just the worst.
House of the Dead, dude. Like, all those bosses were breeze cake. Hey, here's the boss. Here's its weakness. All the way up until you get to the last level. Like, I think it was the second to last and the last boss in House of the Dead 4.
Yeah.
Were a nightmare. Up until that point, none of the bosses in any of the games had actually posed a challenge. It's like, oh, hey, this is all right. I know where you're weak. I know your attack patterns after I get hit once, and that's that. So
yeah,
from then on out, it's literally I just shoot you and you're done. Right. But the last two, the one, his weakness was just so hard to hit. It was ridiculous because of how fast he was moving. And then the last one, they don't tell you where his weakness is. And it's like, oh, hey, it's probably the fleshy parts because, he's part metal, part flesh. Shoot the fleshy parts. Nope, not his weakness.
Yeah. And then knock the metal parts off. And there's certain ones like that. Especially if you're playing with someone, you're like, oh, hey, you can help me here. And then they kind of they do dumb shit. They're shooting at all the wrong things. I'm like, all you have to do is if you hold this dude at bay, I'll kill him really easy.
And I'm sorry, but when you play House of the Dead with someone that's not really good at the arcade shooters, and they never reload. Yeah, they're just standing there like, I got him. Yeah. How come my score is so low? Did you ever reload?
Yeah. I was there's always people sitting there like, I'm like, why? I was like, I did this like I just put my hand here while I'm shooting, and then you just cover. You keep pulling the trigger, but you just cover the end with your hand, and it'll reload for you. Yeah. You literally just slight your fingers in front of it real quick, and then it's over. Like, oh, I got to re-aim, and the best are the people who go like this before they load, and they put the gun up to the side, like.
I was always just one to use the wrist, just kind of like, pulling the trigger, snap the wrist over.
Yeah, snap the wrist over off the screen,
snap,
shoot off. I actually think the hardest boss battles in House of the Dead were the annoying delinquent kids that would jump around and distract you.
I don't know, man.
Never in the arcade.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about, in the actual arcade.
Yeah, in the actual arcade, the kids that would just run amok and jump on the arcade machines and stuff like that and jump around or knock something over. Somebody would try to steal your jacket or something like that. That was the hardest boss in House of the Dead too, were the distractions around you.
Yeah, I don't know. The snake things were pretty hard to kill too, because I don't like snake things.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes
If it's slithering across the ground, going at different angles and stuff, it's like, all right, you're really annoying. And I'm trying to hit you, and I've got 4 shots, and there's 8 of you.
Yeah.
So one of you is getting to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of times certain annoying little enemies in there, but again, harder than the bosses.
Yeah. Same thing with the flood in Halo. I'm sorry, those stupid little spider things, man.
Yeah, those were pretty aggravating.
You have 2 weapons that can kill them. You have the assault rifle and you have the shotgun, because the shotgun's got a good spread.
Yeah.
And the assault rifle, that thing is so inaccurate, it hits them all anyways.
Right. There's I'm thinking of even worse stuff. There's 3 that I can think of that are worse than any boss battle we've talked about as far as ease. That would be the leader in the Incredible Hulk. And for the Super Nintendo,
Don't think I played that one.
the leader's his arch nemesis. You finally get up close to him personal, and he literally doesn't do anything. There's a little pill thingy on the ground that you can use. It's supposed to give you heal you and give you a buff up for your give you a power up basically. But all you actually have to do is uppercut him once, and it's over. There's that. There's the Golem Overlord and Chrono Trigger, who literally just he just once you hit the setting, it's all set, the environment's set. You look all right, about to have an epic boss battle, and then he realizes after being a floating ugly blob thingy forever, he finally waits until right then to realize that he's afraid of heights, and then he won't fight you. You just kill him. That's it. And then Negative Man in Mother 3. Who literally tells you right off the bat that he can't be he doesn't think he can win anyway. You just punch him in his face and kill him. It's he's an optional boss, and you don't you almost feel bad fighting him, but the loot's really good.
Yeah,
as far as the game is considered.
Diablo 2. It wasn't Raven. It was the second boss. I can't remember what it was. Ridiculously easy if you were the Necromancer, because oh hey, I'm weak against the undead. What?
Well,
you're weak against the undead. Okay. But unfortunately, to get to that point where that boss was ridiculously easy, you had to go through Raven.
Yeah.
Raven was a pain in the ass if you were the Necromancer, because you're in a graveyard, so all of the minions that she spawns are already dead. So now you're trying to resurrect bones that don't have anything, they're not even connected anymore. So you can't do it. You literally have to go out and find other things to kill and then go into the boss battle and hope she doesn't kill your minions faster than you kill hers. Yeah. So it's really annoying trying to do that one. But once you get past her, the rest of the game is a breeze, because, again, the second boss, who gives you double the experience that she did, is weak against the undead. Just don't use golems. Just use your undead mages, your undead soldiers. Go in there with 12 minions, and guess what? He's dead.
Yeah, go hard the paint, it's all over before they have a chance to react.
You just go around killing his minions before they kill yours, and that's that.
I just remembered a Cloud and Candy from Yoshi's Story. He literally tells you how to beat him. All you have to do is, unless Yoshi's allergic to being healed, you're pretty much set. You just lick him a few times, and he gets smaller and smaller until he's done. And all he does in defense is hop around a little bit. Not to mention, every time you lick him, you heal.
Yep. But if he does land on Mario somehow, baby Mario.
Oh no.
Then you got to deal with that crying shit.
Yeah.
And that was the only reason I got good at Yoshi's Island, is because I hated that crying so much that I purposely just I'd mute the TV and I'd play it normal. But as soon as someone turned the sound back on, I would shudder.
Yeah, you start to cringe. Damn it. Kill him.
I may or may not have broken a few TVs playing that game. But regardless, I did get really good at it because that sound was so obnoxious.
Oh, I know of another really, really an awful easy one that you're gonna be equally upset about. Lucius in Fable 2.
Oh,
You do all this epic stuff, you all these boss battles and everything leading up to. You've waited your whole life to exact revenge on this guy, and he's sitting there with the two bodies on the other side of him, and all you have to do is shoot him in mid-sentence. And if you don't, your partner will.
yeah, you shoot him. You hit him with a lightning bolt. You hit him with a fireball. It doesn't matter what level or how strong any of the weapons are. One hit kill. You can literally drop all your weapons, drop your magic, walk up and punch him, which only does 10 damage. And guess what? Dead.
Just mid-speech and he is over. That's it. And you're expecting him to come up and like crawl up and turn into like this epic form or something like that. And nothing at all. It's just...
See, with Fable, I was really good, really happy because, you know, as the game goes on, you get stronger and stronger, and so do the enemies, and it gets really interesting, and it gets to be complicated because now you have to, you know, actually dodge attacks. You have to actually be good.
Yeah.
And then there are still certain areas that you can go into and literally just wreck shit with one hit, so you can see how much power you now have.
Right.
And then Fable 2, it was like everything was the same. It was okay, you know, it's a little difficult at the beginning. All right, I got a little stronger. The enemies didn't. Got stronger, the enemies didn't. Got really strong, the enemies are still like they were when I was a fucking 5-year-old. So yeah, like no one got stronger that entire game. It sucked. They just gave you more enemies to fight to try to make it more challenging. But if you had lightning, it didn't matter because you could just zap all of them. Done. So I actually gave myself I gave myself the mission of beating that game without any magical abilities. I literally did not fire a single spell the entire game just because when I realized how broken the lightning was,
Yeah.
I stopped using spells, restarted the game.
There's no point to using any of the other ones. Like using the phantoms can be fun sometimes, especially when you decide to go wreak havoc on a town or a village.
Yeah.
It can be fun.
Fighting the guards is the only thing that got harder in Fable 2.
Yeah, but it's like once you get the lightning, you're literally just boom, boom, it's over. It's a straight shot, and the stronger and you can hold it or just zap the crap out of them. Not only that, if you just hit them once, let's say heaven forbid it doesn't kill them, it stuns them enough for you to just go up and slice them and they're dead. Yep. There's so many different ways to make it pretty much like, okay, I'm just gonna zap around. All of them are stunned. Now I can go kill them.
Oh crap! There's 100.
If you don't want to kill them with it specifically.
Oh crap! There's 150,000 enemies coming towards me. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and use a little force push.
Up, yeah.
You know, push everyone away from me. Lightning one of them, and it will literally ricochet around the circle.
Yeah.
All dead.
There was too many. Like, I think one of the more entertaining ones is probably using the tornado.
The only part of that game that was really any fun after, you know, aside from the storyline itself, was combining the spells. But again, so boring and broken. It was just like, no.
There was no challenge in it. It really kind of sucked in that regard, and it was really more about like, all right, I'm gonna go kill a few things to get what I need, and I'm gonna have a little bit more fun trying to basically be like a freaking conglomerate and own everything in the world.
Yeah, they tried to focus too much on all the small things, and you know, try to still keep a good storyline, that they missed out on the benefits of combat. So that kind of sucked in that regard.
Or maybe they wanted him to be like a true hero and not be like stoppable, I guess. But like maybe so that you could just blow through it and pay more attention to the story than having to try to have difficulty fighting. But even then, there should be a difficulty setting for that.
Yeah, but I mean,
if
like,
you want to just blow through, if you're not good at games but you want to experience the story, like if you have a girlfriend who's a casual gamer and you want her to experience the story, then yeah, sure,
yeah,
an easy version.
The original Fable was phenomenal with that because you could, you know, just train up and kind of like grind through and get the stronger abilities and still a powerhouse.
Right.
Or you could just go through like super quick and never, you know, level, and it got harder as it went.
Right.
Like
the way that it should be.
And so the original Fable was phenomenal with that. 2 focused too much on the subtle aspects. They left out the challenge part. Mm-hmm. And then 3, they focused on trying to make it a challenge that was almost unbeatable, but their storyline sucked. So they went the opposite side of the coin on that one, and I was disappointed with Fable 3. I mean, the first one was the only one I really liked.
Yeah.
However, I think I heard a rumor they're re-releasing it for the Xbox One. So, yeah, They're gonna re-release Fable with the Lost Chapters for
That
Xbox
would
One.
be nice to have it come back through. I don't know if you necessarily need to do that. Like they could just make a new Fable, but I don't know.
Well, they made a new one and they did it on Connect, and everyone hated it.
Fable. That's the first mistake. You made Fable Connect. You made a Connect gimmicky thing. It's
I heard the storyline of that was really good, but I won't play it because it's solely Connect.
Yeah.
And I have an issue with Connect. I'm fat and lazy and don't want to move. So
that's like the best things that have happened with Connect are like the stuff that's going on with the Xbox One, where anything that you do with the Connect is optional.
Yeah.
With the exception of like Just Dance or something, but like the optional things where you can actually use voice commands and everything in games where there's also an option to use a controller to do those same commands. But okay, I'm in the middle of a firefight. I don't want to have to go through a menu and go do this. I can just make the command and it'll do it also. I was like, okay, that's an actual convenience.
Yeah.
That's different than having a game warped around, like an action game warped around to connect, warped around connect things.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to have to like flail my arms to move.
Yeah.
I don't want to, be running around going like this, trying to like ride a horse. No, just no.
It's different with something like Just Dance, but like with something like with combat, no, do not use Connect for combat because especially if we're trying to beat something and it's something like competitive, like I'm not saying it's competitive, but it's a challenge. You don't want to be foiled. You want to be foiled by the enemy and by you not figuring it out, not by the Connect not responding to you properly or something of that nature.
Yeah, if we can actually get Connect to the point where it will monitor all movement of me. So it's like, okay, hey, I've got a sword and a shield, and all right, I'm gonna go block this guy, swing a stab underneath, cut this guy across the stomach, shield bash this dude. If it's actually gonna monitor and like mimic that, okay. But I don't want to be standing there. Okay, I put both hands up to block. Okay, I swing both hands down to swing. No, I want the character to mimic my movements. If it's gonna monitor my movement. I don't want to only have 3 move options.
When you have the surf suit with all the little white balls on it for motion tracking, like
mocap.
You do motion capture with like the full on 3D goggles and everything else like that.
And I'd be okay with that. Like all right, that's really exciting because one of the most anticipated game moments of the year with the Nintendo Wii was swinging Link's sword.
Yeah.
That was such a huge thing for the Wii. And it was like that was the selling point for the game. That was one of the last killer apps out there. Like, it was literally the reason I bought a Wii. So,
yeah, I don't know. There's some Zelda ones. Even let's go on to like some of the ones that are not necessarily difficult or easy, but they're still really fun. That pretty much brings up a lot of Zelda, a lot of Mega Man, a lot of Mario.
Yeah,
I mean, some of Mario's still like Morton Koopa Jr. He literally just walks at you at a turtle's pace, and you jump on him 3 times, and it's over. And I'm like, oh crap! But like Super Mario 64.
Yep.
Not necessarily the most difficult boss battles ever, but almost all of them were fun.
They were interesting. They were all unique. They were all they were what gaming should be. They were fun, but they didn't piss you off.
Yeah. Then you get those. You get the Mega Man ones. They can be difficult if you try to go into the basic blaster, but you also get to choose which path you go. Use finding out like the weaknesses for each one, what the strengths and weaknesses were. That was fun.
Yep.
Actually going through like, okay, if I get the right weapon, this guy's real easy. If I don't, it could be like average. If I get the wrong one, it can be really, really difficult. Yeah. Especially if you're running ammunition for one or 2 of them. But like actually those are like games based on boss battles. Was a lot of fun being able to do like those, having like picking and choosing which way you go, and like you said, now the new Zelda is doing that as well. But
one thing I really like was the Mortal Kombat games. A lot of the fighters actually in general, but Mortal Kombat I'm using as a specific example because their sub boss battles were that much harder than the actual boss battles. That it's like really, I got to fight Goro again. Goro's a nightmare. All right, well, I got to fight Shao Kahn now. Wait, what? He's easy.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. Shao Kahn was one of the easiest boss battles.
Like, he just stands there like he's the overlord of Outworld. Like, he should be a monster, but he just stands there. Rah,
yeah,
obey me.
He got too used to having other people do his dirty work, I guess. So
Goro,
realistic, I guess.
Goro will pull you apart.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, Goro was number 2. He was the sub boss in 2. Because you had to fight Goro to get to Shang Tsung. No.
Yeah, Goro to get to Shang Tsung, that was the first Mortal Kombat.
That was the first one.
Second
one was Shang Tsung to Shao Kahn.
Yeah, Shang Tsung and Kim Taro. Kintaro to get to Shao Kahn.
That's right. Shang Tsung was the sub boss, who was still a nightmare because he shapeshifted into whatever you were weak against.
Yeah, he got smarter.
Yeah,
versus just randomly.
And that was really awkward for a game that didn't save.
Yeah,
he picked up your patterns and he figured out what you were bad at, and he kicked your ass every time.
Yeah, those are kind of hard. Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yep.
A lot of people think he's unbeatable because he can really beat you in one punch, but honestly, he's not that difficult. I don't think he's that difficult. I've speed run through the game. I've beat Mike Tyson without being hit.
Mike Tyson has a 6-punch pattern. That's it.
Yeah, it's just sweet. Hug the ropes for a little bit, keep dodging. You get your stars, you star uppercut him, and it's over. And you just keep doing that. That's all you have to do. You star uppercut him, he's down. All right, do it again. Lather, rinse, repeat. It's a pattern just like everybody else. The only difference is that he didn't follow the same kind of patterns as the same noticeable patterns as everyone else did in that game.
Everyone else did a 2 or 3 move pattern.
Yeah.
He was double that with a 6 move pattern. So he was a little harder for everyone to figure out.
Not to mention
because they didn't see the pattern. So yeah. So it's all right. And then if you stopped his pattern, he restarted the pattern. It's all right, this is annoying.
And if you got him to stop it before you figured it out, you're just he's going to keep throwing these damn punches and I'm never going to stop it. Yeah.
Yep.
But it honestly not as difficult as people think. But I was saying those. Technically, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, all of those are technically boss battles. I don't know if those are all boss battles or if he's just a boss and they're all just one-person fights.
I think that because the whole purpose of the game was boxing, so that was
that goes with a fighting game.
So I guess that would just kind of toss him as the boss. So I guess that works.
I'm thinking games like Haunting Ground. It's a little bit more for those of you who don't know. It's a more underrated game. I think we've brought it up on here before with some of our guests that have really raved about this game. You play girl and it's a small girl gets kidnapped. It's just her and her dog, and you get kidnapped by this big mongoloid retard guy that thinks that she's a doll and just locks her in a cage and wants to play with her. And by playing with her, it means go Lenny and Mice and Men and snap her neck. But he wants to do that, and you go through this mansion, and you're only facing one person at a time. You have one enemy at a time that you got to go through, and each of them is technically considered a boss, and you have to find a way to beat them. If you do the wrong thing, there's this one lady who comes after you, and she's just really creepy. And not that difficult to beat, but if you do one thing wrong, if you chase her you run from her in the wrong direction, you come back around and you go into this room that has a fireplace, and she grabs a fire poker and makes it scalding hot, and then she's almost impossible to beat. She just touches you once, and the hard thing about this game is that instead of a life bar, when you get hit, you go into a panic mode, and the screen distorts, and the screen loses color, goes in black and white, starts skipping frames, and you hear your heartbeat, and then next thing you're running, you stumble, you skip ahead a few frames and things like that, and it just becomes even harder. Instead of games where oh hey, I get rage mode when I lose health, no, it becomes harder the more you get hit. So that kind of thing was sweet. A game entirely based on boss battles, like Shadow of the Colossus. One of my favorite games of all time, and that is a really, really good for boss battles. Just, hey, let me roll out. They didn't even bother with the storyline, with that deep of a storyline. It was all implied storyline. You run out, climb up this giant freaking thing, a Colossus, and you find its little weak spot or whatever by shining the light from your sword onto its weak point, and then you stab the crap out of it. You one little guy, and having to use energy and stuff to climb and everything. Those kinds of things are sweet.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games that were based off of solely off boss battles. There was some games that weren't really boss battles at all. But we'll talk about that more when we come back from break.
Yeah, we're going to be going over some of the more difficult boss battles. Since we started with the easiest, we're going to end with the hardest. And we're going to go over, see if you guys can call 888-668-0742 when we come back from the break and try to guess Chip's favorite boss battle of all time and tell us yours. You're listening to Unlocked Radio. We'll be back in 10.
Something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran into a black man's arms.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
I
I know. Oh my God, I know what we're gonna do. Oh, it's so delicious, I can almost taste it.
If you're looking for the best sub shop in town, look no further. Hanini Subs, located at 7310 Lorraine Avenue, is the place for you. Stop in for a cold cut sub, cheeseburger and fries, wingdings and fries, and so much more.
I can almost taste it.
Hanini Subs at 7310 Lorraine Avenue is open 24 hours a day. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/burrito crazy. And if you mention MSC Radio Network, you'll get $1 off your meal. It's all good at Hanini Subs.
So damn good.
Yo, it's Woody. Now, I know a thing or two about women, and I want to help all the ladies out there take care of their men. Happy Endings Orgasmically Organic Massage Oil. Yeah, I said orgasmically organic, made right here in Cleveland. Now, no other product delivers this level of purity and performance. It's guaranteed to improve your overall experience and keeps that sensitive skin soft and smooth. Guys, don't be a tool. You're doing it anyway. Might as well do it right. Get your happy ending at happyendingsoil.com. That's happyendingsoil.com. Lakewood Computer, located at 14035 Madison Avenue in Lakewood, has it all. If you're in need of computer repairs or want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computer in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, Lakewood Computer has been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. Lakewood Computer purchases and sells pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment, and they offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner cartridges and ink cartridges. With 29 years of professional experience, Lakewood Computer is highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at joeslakewoodcomputer.com. That's joeslakewoodcomputer.com. Or give them a call toll-free, 855-580-0768. That's 855-580-0768. Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits, a 99.5% uptime guarantee, and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. If you have a product or service, let people know about it. Get your message out there and advertise on MSC Radio Network. It's easier than you think, and the whole planet is listening. Find out how you can advertise. Email Chris at morningshowcentral.com. Oh, great. Not another farm bill request. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/morningshowcentral. Denying one farm bill request at a time. MSC Radio Network has just tweeted the following. This bowel movement won't come out. Check us out on Twitter at twitter.com/MSC Radio Network. User-friendly and ready to serve. morningshowcentral.com. Call the show toll-free. 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com.
Oh, wow. Language.
Okay, he was PMSing.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
This is President Barack Obama, and you're listening to MSC Radio Network.
Peak 99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. With hundreds of live weather products and layers and thousands of combinations, Weather Studio provides a professional graphics and storm monitoring solution without complex user knowledge and without the industry standard price tag of $1,000 plus broadcast systems. Weather Studio displays a plethora of critical atmospheric and geophysical data on an interactive GIS-enabled computer map. Get your free 14-day trial of Weather Studio at their website, weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. That's weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. morningshowcentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to guitarcenter.com. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
Yeah, we're here on Unlocked Radio. Before the break, we were talking about all the lame boss battles that you have, all the really easy ones, and some of the more entertaining ones, fun ones, the ones that let us down, games that are entirely based on boss battles. We are still waiting for someone to call in 888-668-0742 and let us know your favorite boss battles and try to guess Chip's favorite boss battle.
Come on, guys. Battlefield 4 poster.
Yeah, the Sonic 2 one already came up for mine, so we can't really do that. But yeah, you can win a Battlefield 4 poster. Battlefield 4, that's a boss battle in itself, trying to actually stay in a game and not get kicked out.
Yep. Yeah, trying to battle the server, I guess. Which brings me into Tron. Oh, no, I'm not going to Tron. I could, but I'm not going to. But anyway, so one of my favorite bosses of all time, favorite memories of bosses of all time, the Fire Temple in Legend of Time. Legend of Zelda.
Legend Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time, yeah.
Sorry, I was like, wait.
Little tired, guys. A little tired. Yeah, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, the Fire Temple, the dragon. It wakes up and it literally is like super pissed and angry. And I looked over at my one friend when it woke up and I was like, dude, it's like my sister. And we both started laughing so loud. My sister woke up, came down into the basement. Why are you guys laughing at? And literally, like, I paused the game and looked at the dragon, looked at her, looked back at the dragon, and started laughing so hard.
Yeah, there's some decent ones.
The Zelda series has had some phenomenal bosses over the years.
The Fire Temple he's a really good one. Just because like he comes out, I'm like, but I at the time was 12 years old, so I'm like,
you're like, what do I do?
That thing is monstrous and one of like the most iconic Zelda battles of all time. Obviously you have like Ganon and everything, but you have to keep on doing that stuff over and over.
I love fighting Ganon. I love fighting Shadow Link. Those are some of my favorite bosses of all time.
Yeah,
like they really are. They're fun battles. Like I'm sorry, but playing tennis with Ganon was awesome. Trying to fight your mirror image is incredible. Like just something about it is it's awesome. It really is. There's no other way to describe it.
Aghanim, the wizard in A Link to the Past, like having to do that, fire the things back at him and have him teleport all over the place. A lot of those different ones, because the ones that become like more of a puzzle can still be kind of fun. That's kind of what Zelda is really all about.
Yeah, and that's why I like Darksiders, which draws me towards the other end of Darksiders, because Darksiders is basically a bloody Zelda meets God of War. Yeah. So you're going into God of War boss battles. Those were really fun and iconic too. I mean, they were kind of like puzzles. They were more cinematic because it's like, oh, hey, push this button at this time. And I didn't really as much. Then again, they did that in Force Unleashed when you had to bring down the Star Destroyer and all the boss battles, and those weren't bad either. I mean, like I actually kind of enjoyed those because it was fun to do the fighting, and then you got to watch the epic cinematic where you push buttons. But sorry, went on my little tangent there.
It's all right. On another boss, this is a really odd thing to say as far as a boss is concerned, but the Abominable Snowman in Ski Free.
Does he really count as a boss?
He's the only enemy. You're just sitting there like, oh, what a wonderful day to go skiing. The trees, the snow. What is that? What the hell is that? Hold down F. We gotta outrun this bitch. like this thing just comes up and he just gobbles you the crap up. And you're like, I was just skiing. I was just trying to have a good time.
Wait. You can outrun him?
You can try. That's why
I've never done it. Like,
it's see how long you can outrun him. That's why he's one of the hardest bosses ever. He's awful. He's like, I don't know. He's just really bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna consider him a boss because he's the only actual enemy you fight, and you get too good, and he's like, I'm gonna come out and eat you.
Yep. I just run into a tree every now and then, just kind of like shits and gigs, slow myself down. Snowman never came after me then, so you can just avoid him.
You could try to avoid him. What the hell else? There's some other ones. Ninja Gaiden. I didn't really. Like I said, I was trying to hold on. I told you before the break, and I wanted to hold it till afterwards. Ninja Gaiden is known for being one of the a really really difficult game on all aspects of it, especially unless you try to go to the really easy difficulties. But the first time you ever play Ninja Gaiden, even on the easiest difficulty, is still pretty damn difficult.
Yeah.
And then you go through boss battle. The boss battles are also, they can be really really hard. Some of them can be pretty easy, but most of them is require you have to use your best techniques to beat them. You have to try to dodge stuff. Unless you want to. I mean, you could try to just hack and slash your way through it, but you'll probably waste 2/3 of your healing items to do it, which you're gonna need for the rest of the game.
Yep.
To get to the next boss after that, they can be pretty damn hard. There's certain ones that's another one of my favorite ones is fighting a Genshin in Ninja Gaiden 2 because he pretty much is just straightforward ninja versus super ninja, and he doesn't necessarily follow. He has certain move patterns, but he doesn't follow them in any specific order. There's not that much of a pattern. It's really just if you're too far away from him, he'll do certain things all the time. If you're too close to him, he'll do certain things all the time. If you start wailing on him, he'll just counter you and go ape shit. But actually having to fight strat versus strat, instead of it becomes more of a fighting game at that point.
Yeah.
Which becomes kind of fun. Then there's always some mammoth fucking thing. There's these giant armadillos that, oh hey, you're beating him. He's not so bad. He's really hard to find a weak spot. You got to hit his head or his tail. Everything else is pretty much gonna be it's not inconsequential. You can't really hurt him at all. He'll blow fire if you get too far away, so don't try that. Oh, he'll roll up into a giant mammoth ball of armor and just roll the fuck at you repeatedly at a very 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 high speed.
Yeah.
So and if you get hit by that, almost all of your life is gone. Furthermore, once you get him down below half, he decides to go into this fire thing where he just launches all these little holes that are in his shell, launch a bunch of fireballs at you that go all over the map at random spots. If I get hit by one of those, I'm dead. Oh, and when you finally do decide to beat him, he has one final attack where he nukes the entire map, and if you do not block at the exact right second or dodge at the exact right second, you are dead and have to do it all over again.
Yep.
Those things can get kind of shitty.
There have been some really good bosses over the years. Tatsu in the old Ninja Turtles game on Sega.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a pretty good one. I'm trying to think. Were the ones that the original one, the Nintendo Ninja Turtles? I don't remember those being very difficult after you finally figured stuff out.
It was this when they remade them for Sega, and when they remade them for Sega, they made them a little harder. Tatsu actually was fairly complicated. Yeah. Anytime that someone wasn't attacking him, he'd hut and 3 more foot soldiers.
Yeah, so you have minions and stuff to fight.
And
all
you
the
could literally
time.
All right, you're fighting the minions. Now he's not doing anything. He's not fighting back, so he's calling more minions. So you literally have to have 2 players go, and one has to take out the minions, one has to attack him nonstop. Otherwise, you can't beat him. So yeah, it was a nightmare, but it was fun. And then the cinematic into the next stage, next platform was awesome. A lot of those games were really good. Over the years, Ninja Turtle games, I believe, have been very, very underrated, including TMNT, the really crappy animated one that they did.
Yeah, after the movie.
Yeah, it's like, hey, they made a new Ninja Turtle movie, and it was good, I guess. I really liked the storyline. I hated the graphics with a passion. And then they made the game for it. And the game was actually really, really fun, and all the bosses you had to track down in that were kind of a pain in the ass. And this game was supposed to be meant for little kids. I don't know how little kids did a lot of the stuff that was in that game.
Yeah, that was the thing that I was
Like,
thinking of.
I struggled at some of those points.
Another one, like the Ruby and Emerald weapon, Final
Yep.
Fantasy. Those are like worse than having to fight like the actual bosses. Like those are the optional ones are even worse. Having to do like one winged angel and all that stuff was kind of annoying. And then you get to finally Sephiroth at the very end, and all you just do is like, oh hey, I'm just gonna do my ultimate attack and it's over.
Yep. Again, one of those disappointing things.
Yeah, disappointing ends, but hard up until that point.
Yeah, and like Golden Sun, one of the most twisted and demented and childhood-shattering boss battles of all time. You go through the first game, all right, you kill the bad guys that turn into a dragon. All right, you go through the second one. Now, mind you, there's a side boss in the second one that's hidden in like a little secret side quest that you have to go on like a scavenger hunt and then solve puzzles, and then you finally get to him.
Yeah.
He's harder than the final boss. However, there are certain elements that certain, bosses are weak to. Well, lucky for me, when I fought him, I got, because he has the ultimate summon, like the best summon in the game that uses all 4 elements.
Right.
Well, when I got to fight him, he was weak against fire. Well, all 4, or 2 of my best adepts were fire and 2 of them were earth. So, dude literally never got a shot off on me. Well, never a good shot. And I didn't even have to use any summons to kill him. Then I got to the end, and then you fight, sub-boss. Then, oh, hey, killed 2 more evil guys. All right, well, you beat the 2-headed dragon. Here, fight this 3-headed dragon. And that thing is a pain in the ass, because every time you take off one of its heads, it gets 1 more attack per turn, and it already starts off with 2 to your round of 1.
Yeah.
Then its attacks get stronger. It gets its own summons, and it can summon things to fight you. And your ultimate summon leaves you weak for like 6 turns. So you can't use the ultimate summon until you're ready to pop that last head. And even then, it's still good luck.
Yeah.
Then you kill it, and you find out that you just killed your parents. Yep. Your parents that were kidnapped in the first game, you just killed them. So, yeah, it's like, wait, what? I just killed my family?
Yeah, it's kind of it's pretty sad to go through all this trouble. No.
Yeah,
no,
2 full
dead.
games, like 25 to 30 hours of playtime each, and that's just going straight through the game,
And
not
that's
doing
the
side
prequel
quests.
to Batman. Sorry.
And yeah, and then you kill your parents. And then they made a third one, which the boss battles were even harder. But yeah, needless to say, Golden Sun 2, the ending of that was, it made me cry.
Yeah.
Like, I spent all this time trying to get my parents back. I destroyed the world to get my parents back. And then this asshole made me fight my parents, and I killed them.
Yeah, there's what's that? Tyrant from Resident Evil. He was nice fun because he keeps coming back. He has a pretty decent assortment of weapons and different attacks that he would do. And the good thing is it was like, a lot of the times I think like the first like in the Resident Evil 2 when like you're going through and like you run around him a couple times, every now and again like he would just show up. There wasn't a warning.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm trying to go from point A to point B. Bam, Tyrant. Oh!
Yeah, it's not like you walk into an empty room like, hey, what's going on here? And then like cinematic. No, it was literally just.
Yeah, so it's like the first time he shows up and just like the crate drops off the helicopter. He's just on the rooftop. They like, here, have fun. And you're like, I don't want to have fun. I want to go home.
Tyrant wasn't as bad as Nemesis, though, aside from the fact that there was no warning to Tyrant.
Yeah.
Nemesis got a warning, but he was that much harder to fight that it pretty much evened out.
I don't know. I was like one of those people. I remember when I played Resident Evil 3, I beat it my first playthrough. I didn't find that much difficulty in it. And it bothered the crap out of me because I was like, oh, he's like Tyrant. He's gonna keep like evolving and being like more and more ridiculous. No, it's kind of just like, oh, avoid him and then go around him and do this and okay, it's not nearly what I wanted. But then I hear like a bunch of other people had like a really, really, really hard time with it. I was like, I don't know if I just figured it out then, I got lucky or what.
Well, going around him was kind of like the easy way. Like, hey, let's put this off till the end.
Yeah.
Most people that have the difficulty were actually fighting him because the more you fight him, he'll run away. And if you fight him until he runs away, then he comes back stronger. If you avoid him, he doesn't get any stronger throughout the game.
Yeah.
He literally stays the same. So it's like, okay, now I'm stronger. I've got better weapons. I've got, more ammo. And now he's easier to kill.
Yeah.
So
That could be that.
yeah. So I recommend going back, playing through that one, and actually fighting him the whole way through the game.
Maybe that might make him more difficult.
Yeah.
Freaking the end of the first Gears of War, General Ram or whatever, he was really difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's just, hey, I got to go forward, and he's got control of the krill that destroys me completely and they just eat you as like in one giant swarm of shit. And I have to go from this end to that end, try to find a way to kill him. I've been just unloading whatever guns you can on him, and it's not really working. You have to do everything perfect, and it's just. I remember that being very, very difficult. The first time I played through that game, me and my buddy sat down. We did the co-op, and we blew through the entire game in one night until we got to that point. Then spent like a good hour or so trying to beat him, and then gave up. And I didn't come back to that until like Gears of War 2 came out, and I finally went around and beat him.
Yeah, well, like the final boss for Golden Sun 2, like I beat the two-headed dragon. All right, no big deal, whatever. I go, to fight the three-headed dragon, and I couldn't beat it. After like 3 hours of trying to beat this thing and just dying every time and restarting at my last save, which was right before, I got really, really irritated. I put the game down for years. I think it took like 4 years. I finally picked it back up because I wanted to play the third one. And I finally beat the boss. It still took like 6 tries, and that was with how many more years of gaming experience, how many more bosses I've beaten in the meantime, and I finally got around to actually beating that one, and it was still a nightmare to beat. And then I again was really, really mad at the ending. I didn't want to kill my family.
Yeah, that'll mess you up.
Yep, you blew up your village. You corroded the earth to the point where everything's drowning and everyone's dying and no one can survive.
Yeah.
And then you
How about-
kill your family.
Well, how about like the really aggravating boss fights, like the frustrating cheap ass ones that just, hey, if they you only win if they decide to let you, kind of ones, or like,
You
hey,
mean
I
like-
can just spam attacks.
You mean like in Killer Instinct?
Yeah, like Killer Instinct, like every pretty
Or
much
Soul Calibur.
fighting game bosses in general. Yeah, like, hey, we decided that we're gonna do this completely unavoidable attack that does a bunch of damage, and we're gonna do it 3 times, and hey, now you have no health left. Okay, and I'm gonna do it again. Like, okay, so basically what you're saying is I gotta wait until you decide not to do that unbeatable attack for me to actually have a chance of beating you. Nice, thanks, appreciate it. Tengu in Dead or Alive, where he would just he starts getting pissed, and what does he do? He's just gonna make this tornado thing that no one else can do, and then do that, knock you away. And then he's gonna keep doing it. If you get close, he dashes backward in the air and flies at you. Like, I'm glad that you have these attacks that I can't block or do anything against. I can't counter them. Which is like a third of my repertoire in the game, because you have counter strikes and block and guards.
Nightmare's one uppercut that you can't block from a crouching block or a standing block. You can't block it. It just hits you.
Yeah.
It's an uppercut that he uses over and over, and it literally throws you up into the air and knocks you back, and he can combo out of it. So it's like he hits you, you put up your block, you still go into the air and lose a chunk of health. Then he swings across while you're coming back down, hits you again, and basically juggles you until you're dead.
Yeah. See, Galactus and Marvel vs. Capcom. If you're not one of those people that sits there and puts hundreds and hundreds of hours into memorizing everything, and even if you put on the hardest difficulty, he can just spam moves, unblockable moves.
Mephisto in Diablo 2 expansion pack, fire everywhere. Jesus Christ, I didn't know you'd be harder to beat than the devil himself.
Yeah. Bebop and Rocksteady in the original, the original Ninja Turtles. That one, that was actually that's just one of the better ones.
Not when you fight them separately, when you have to fight them together.
Yeah.
Because they each had their own level that you had to fight. And you
first level you fought Rocksteady, I think,
and then
Bebop, and then three fight Bebop. And
it was Bebop, then Rocksteady. Then you had to fight Bebop, then Rocksteady back to back as the same level. And then
you fight
towards
them both
the end, you had
together.
to fight them together before you get to the shredder.
Honestly, the hardest part of that game was the underwater level.
Why is it always the underwater level that's the pain?
it's like you get electrocuted by everything, and you're trying to disarm bombs. You have a time limit, so you're trying to rush but be patient at the same time. Anyway, that's all the time we have for today. We got beat by the boss battle of time, evidently. We've been listening to Unlocked Radio here on Morning Show Central Radio Network. Coming up next, we're going to have High on Sports with Ralphie, talking about how upsetting the Super Bowl was. You're listening to Unlocked Radio, Morning Show Central Radio Network.com to get all of that stuff. UnlockedRadio.com to get to our episode.
Tune in next week when we cover underwater water levels.
All right, have a good night, guys.